77% gains in the last 7 days. That's the price development of Turbo. Let's have a look at what's causing all of this. Let's try to find out how much longer this rally can last. So here we are currently at 0.6 cents. And yes, the last week looked very nice, but the price development long term wasn't without its dramas. We have seen some pumps and subsequent dumps before. Now, this is not the first time I talk about Turbo on this channel. I published multiple videos on the token. And what's interesting about those videos is that all of them tended to outperform the typical video on this channel. So a typical video is in gray, and in blue is the number of views of this particular Turbo video. But have a look at this video, same thing, outperformance. Or this video, also performing better. Or check this out, better than the average. And the same is true for the recent video. So there's clearly a lot of attention on the token. Does that attention also turn into purchases? To answer that question, I've developed various on-chain analytics tools. We've got one for Solana, another one for the EVM compatible chains, and Turbo is listed on both blockchains. Let's start off with the Solana token. What we see on the left is the number of wallets on Solana that have at least 160,000 Turbo tokens. At the current price, that's roughly $1,000 worth of the token. That's what I consider retail. In the middle, we've got medium-sized retail, so we go now at 10x in minimum holding, so 1.6 million or $10,000 worth of the token. That also increases over time. On the right, we've got the whales. So that's now 16 million tokens or $100,000 worth of the token. And so there are no whales on Solana for Turbo. There are 6 medium-sized wallets and there are a bit over 100 small retail wallets. The real action happens on Ethereum because here are the same kind of charts but for the Ethereum chain. The same thresholds and the holder development looks very different here. Whales aren't accumulating anymore since the first purchase during the launch days. Medium-sized retail did do quite some purchasing at the end of May, and small retail did the same, again during the month of May. And that then stopped with the month of June. The growth was way slower. And so this is the price development during that time. Have a look at this peak here. This is the end of May. So the price stopped rallying. It did find a floor. And that's no surprise because none of the holders are really net selling. They're accumulating very slowly or holding. And so it's interesting how much volatility there is in the price, as in how much the price goes up and down when the number of holders isn't changing that much. Right? This is a move from almost 1 cent all the way down to 0.3 cents. So a 70% drop, while the number of holders really didn't fluctuate that much during that time. I've got an idea why this is happening, but more on that later. Let's first zoom into the recent past. Let's look at the last month. So in the last month, we went up by 53%. And again, pretty much all of those gains happened in the last week. Here are the same kind of holder charts, but instead of looking at this very long term, we just look at the last month. And again, this is on Ethereum. We do see continued accumulation by retail and medium-sized retail and the whales, but the growth isn't really that massive. The number of retail wallets grew by roughly 200, so that's a bit under 2% growth in a month. Medium-sized retail grew by roughly 40, again roughly 2%. The number of whales, relatively speaking, grew the most. So that's 12 wallets, or roughly 5 to 6%. So everyone is buying, the whales are buying most. And so what's causing all the volatility in the price? I think the centralized exchanges have their hands on the token as well. This is not a meme coin for the lighthearted. 30% of all of trading volume happens on Binance, 20% on OKX, 15% on Gate.io. And on top of the spot market, we've also got perpetual futures trading, again dominated by OKX and Binance. Centralized exchanges make money from trading, and the more volatility there is on the price, the more fees get generated. And so maybe there is no clear interest on the price direction, but probably there is some interest in shaking the price up and down every now and then. So I don't think it's very wise to use stop losses, for example. If there are enough people with stop losses, then probably the price will briefly at least fall below and then potentially recover again. Again, creating trading fees, potentially even liquidation fees. Now it seems like we are back into meme coin trading season again. Because check this out, this is a video on Nero that outperformed a typical video. Or check this out, the Baby Doge, also an outperformer. But your standard altcoin, that's not a meme coin, tends to not perform that well. Here's PIF, here is Jupiter, here is A-tier. And so in the premium community, we are hunting for new meme coins yet again. I'm sharing, of course, my trades as well. I, for example, bought Drift recently. That's not a meme coin, but that's playing the presidential election. So that went up more than 70% since purchase. Then we talked about Nero since August 3rd. That went up more than 20,000% since then. And so we've got a dedicated premium altcoin chat where we talk about all kinds of alts. And of course, we are also tracking other influencers and see when they are buying and selling. So in case you've got a crypto portfolio that's at least $5,000 worth, feel free to check it out. The link is down below. It's thebitcoinstrategy.com. And of course, if you don't want to miss the next update on Turbo, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly on various meme coins. Feel free to also give this a like. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video and maybe even in premium. Cheers.